Well, here we are, January 4th. Got about a 15-mile-an-hour north wind. About 15 degrees Fahrenheit right now. It got down right at 0 this morning. Getting clouded over. And we're sitting in my van. And people have always asked me, what do I use a van? I've been using a van since like 1987, 86, around in there. And Roger Rothauer, the inventor of the snuffer broadhead, he used a van. I used to read his writings of how he would take a lunch break and go to the van or get out of the rain or take a nap. So I've been using a van on ever since. And they work really good, especially on a day like today. It's really cold out there. You're not doing the 1 foot hop trying to jump into your hunting clothes and all that. I got my four-wheeler right here if I need assistance. I've never been hindered at all with a van. You may have to leave a little early if the snow starts snowing or something like that, but basically I've had far greater results using a van. I used to insulate them, but being I trade them off so much, I quit putting that kind of money in them. But this is comfortable. It's 15 degrees outside that door with the wind blowing, and it's got a pretty good bite to that wind. And I'm sitting in here talking to you undisturbed. Well, and another thing that I'm going to do right now is I got this turnip, tall tine tuber turnip, out of the field there a couple days ago before it got froze. And where I'm going to hunt at tonight, I'm going to have a north wind. So what I'm going to do, I'm splitting this open as you see, and I'm dumping these juices on my hunting clothes. That's pretty sticky, and it's pretty stinky. Well, that whole area up there smells just like this turnip does. So hopefully I'm using God's given scent cover, not technology, to disguise my scent. If I get busted in doing so, so it be. That's called fair chase. Something some people have a hard time with today because they want to take fair chase away from the game. And I'm all for that if they're willing to let the game shoot back at them. Because after all, the game that you're hunting, it has, only defense it has is the smelling power. So if I can disguise mine somewhat, and they buy into it, like I said, with God's given turnip, something that grew on his earth, then that's what the spirit of fair chase and hunting is all about. Not using technology and being lazy and try to compensate, taking the census of the wildlife away from it. And yeah, I hunt out of a blind, so I take the turkey side away. I understand that. That's not the coolest thing to do, but that's probably the most highest percentage rate you're going to kill a wild turkey. I go to Canada, yep, I hunt over a bait at a bear bait. Why? Because that's an accepted way of controlling the bear numbers. If you were spotting and stalking up in that boreal forest, the bear numbers would go through the roof. Because none of us are that good and we don't have that long to pursue the black bear. And their numbers would skyrocket and the hunter success would go south, especially with a bow and arrow. So there are times, like I said, turkey hunting out of a blind, taking the eyesight away from the turkey from movement. That's the simplest form, but you could construct a blind with nature, or what nature would is, so you wouldn't even have to buy the pop-up type blinds. And people have been doing that for years. And the Native Americans used to take and put deer skins over them and try to disguise themselves as deer to get close to it. That kind of hunting or technology doesn't bother me. But when you get into the electronic field, folks, that's going down the wrong path. in my opinion. Some of you are going to agree, some of you disagree, and that's what America's all about. But anyhow, today we're putting turnips. We're going to put some in my hair too. That'll make, you talk about bushwhacks. Of course, some of you ain't old enough to know what bushwhacks is. Some of you old guys know what it was. This is a form of bushwhacks because my hair will set up like glue. Not because it's not because it's cold, because of the sugar content in these. That's why the deer go after them. You know, because of that high sugar content. And I mean, it'll set up, and it'll be like cardboard when I come back. But anyhow, a van for comfort, getting dressed, and like I say, it's cold out, and you can see I'm sitting here with no wind on me and no cold, other than me raising the temperature by talking. Anyhow, I just want to pass that along with some of you guys, because that's what hunting channels should be. Giving you constructive tips, not same old rerun of same old with a different personality. That doesn't do anything. So, like I said, try to disguise it up with what God gives you. So let's get out there in that tree stand and get cold. And hopefully, I've done my preparation with how to keep warm. And I got my heat packs in. I'm ready to rock and roll. So it's time to go. Try to get what you can get done. Yeah, while I'm on the subject of tips from the van to the outside, this is a piece of carpet. It has cow shit impregnated into it. I stomped into it. And when I cross the fence, this will save me from ripping my Carhartts or whatever tire you got on that top barbed wire. I could take it off, but there's so many cattle around that I'd rather prefer to leave that fence intact. And another thing, when I get on stand, on that lone wolf tree stand, it's aluminum. And that's a conductor of cold, and this will insulate it and keep your feet just that much warmer. It's just the same, it's cut out the same pattern as a tree stand, and you just throw it over the top rung of the fence, and that'll save you from tearing the crotch out of your clothes. So just another tech tip: don't weigh nothing, carry it in, put it on your backpack, and it'll keep you on stand just that much longer, because that aluminum's been out there for 2 days now, conducting nothing but cold. When you put your feet on it, you can feel every rib in there. So with that on there, it helps a whole lot. Plus, like I say, it saves on your clothing. Yeah. You know it's cold out when you hear that backpack crackle like that. You know, that freezes that material. And it's pretty quiet during the regular season, but this late season, it just gets as stiff as a board. Something to keep in mind on choosing equipment. Yeah, I must have drank too much coffee today because I'm so full of it. But here's another tech tip. Yeah, it's cold. But when you're going to your blind in the late season, you're going to have a lot of clothes on. Go slow, give yourself enough time, and don't wear a hat. Because all you're going to do is build up heat, and now all that turnip that we put on will be basically deleted from our sweat. You watch the NFL football players when they take their helmets off, they look like a steam locomotive. Well, that's exactly what you're going to look like when you get up there if you take your hat off, or whether you take it off or not. Leave your hat off going to stand. Once you get there, put it on and conserve the heat. You know, there's no use of having your head any hotter, and I'm a hot head naturally, so there's no use of me getting heated up that much more and having all that sweat up in my hair. I would just delete that turnip smell that I put in there. So whether you think I'm full of it or not, that's my viewpoint from it, and it works for me, and I'm non-typical, so I'm just trying to pass it on. Now you can see the carpet, how it insulates my feet from that cold aluminum. Just a little tech tip. Keep you on stand longer. Another tip, when you take your gloves off, stuff them down in your coveralls, out of your way. That way they'll stay warm when you go to put them on when you get down. It'll be nice and warm, same warmth as your body. Or if you're not, you're going to be putting your hands in cold gloves. Well, we've been here for 2.5 hours. It's right at time to get down. And there's a pretty nice 8-pointer that come through there. And we're not froze. My hands ain't froze. I ain't froze. Pretty cold day today. But anyhow, what I'm trying to get at is late season bow hunting season is hard, and it can be depressing if you let it. A lot of people would be, oh, I could have shot that buck. That's a mere 55 yards over there where that 8-pointer was. Wouldn't have been nothing for a muzzleloader. But that's not what I hunt for. I hunt for a bow hunt. And there's tomorrow night, I'll move over to the next stand over there. And, well, that's it from the crew. I'm comfortably warm, feet from head to toes. And that was an accomplishment in its own right. So, later.